everyone, welcome to another Fight of the Night review. This was for the Fight of the Night that happened last night at the UFC Apex Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thank you, Wikipedia page. And it was between Lando Vannata and Bobby Green. It's a rematch from a match that they had back in 2017, which ended in a split draw. I think Lando originally won, but he was deducted a point because he did a groin strike thing. No, it was a illegal knee. It was an illegal knee, yeah. But we didn't really get that in this fight, and the fight we got was kind of decent actually, and as always it's my job to try and break it down round by round, stumble over my words, and try and give a good enough analysis, I guess. And I'm not a professional at this, even though I've been doing it for 5 years, I'm still not good. And yeah, I'll see you for that now. So the round starts and the men immediately start with a good feeling out process. They both throw some really good leg kicks, and they land fairly hard. Lando attempts a body kick at some point, and it's eventually, just shortly after that, they start exchanging. They throw some really good shots against each other. Vannata downs Bobby with a really good hook, but Bobby, he uses some really good head movement. Bobby Green's boxing in this match, I will say, is on point. He looks so crisp. He does a lot of really good dodging. He throws a lot of really good jabs. He just about manages to outstrike Vannata, but in round one, but Vannata looks like he lands heavier a bit, I guess you could say. But yeah, Green does some really good job with his head movement. He moves away from a really good shot and lands a beautiful looking right hook. There's a point where Lando has Bobby against the cage and he's sort of got his back, and then Bobby manages to pull away and go through a spinning attack, which I never really see Bobby do. I'm more used to him being a bit more flat-footed, but his head movement in this fight, as I mentioned earlier, was great. But yeah, the two men had some absolute blindingly good exchanges, and all in all, in round one, I think I would give it slightly an edge to Vannata, personally. He doesn't win the fight, he loses unanimously. But in round one, I think it was the closest, and I think it slightly goes to Vannata. It was the smallest discrepancy in how many significant strikes, I guess you could call it, that the men landed, with Vannata landing 3 fewer than Bobby did. That's kind of mental. And also, there was a moment where Vannata was sort of taken down by Bobby. So, that was another story going in. Speaking of that story, round 2 is definitely where that sort of started becoming more of a thing for Bobby. He started relying a bit more on his wrestling, which has always been a pretty underrated aspect of his. He doesn't use it a lot, but when he does, he seems to almost always get a takedown, I guess. I guess that's the best way I could put it. He's really good at the wrestling. And in round 2, he keeps up the head movement that he did in round 1 and just takes it to another level. He counters some really good hooks from some really good shots from Lando with some really good jabs. Comes over with some really good hooks of his own. Gets a good takedown in round 2. He gets a clinch late in round 2, I think. And while round 2 is not the scrap that round 1 was, it was still pretty entertaining. And Bobby Green really started pulling away with the fight in round 2. Round 1 was a lot closer. Round 2 was definitely more on Bobby's side, and I definitely feel like he won it. Just his counter jabs, his jab combos were really good. His head movement, his wrestling, which I'm glad he used a bit more of in round 2, and his clinch grappling, they sort of sealed the deal in round 2. Round 3 was a bit more lopsided in favour of Bobby. He landed some really good strikes, obviously. Lando landed some really good ones as well. There was a good moment where he landed a right hand near the end of the round. That might have been the biggest shot that Lando landed. Lando. I'll stop now. But yeah, Bobby got a good couple of takedowns in round 3. There was a great moment where he had one, then Lando managed to get up, and then Bobby pushed Lando against the cage and got another takedown. Lando was up again shortly after that, and there was a great moment in round 3 as well where they were in the clinch and Bobby Green was throwing massive knees to the body, and one of them got Lando down on the ground. One of them really hurt him, and you could see the pain in his face. It was a beautiful clinch exchange, mostly working in favour of Bobby. He put in the fucking work in the clinch, I have to admit. He looked really good. I know it's sort of unusual because he is I said earlier his boxing was on point, specifically his head movement, but boxers usually they have a good dirty boxing clinch as a rule. But this was a Muay Thai clinch, and I was not expecting to see this from Bobby either, but he did a pretty decent job with it. But yeah, all in all, it was easy to see why Bobby got the win. He landed some great clinch work in round 3. He had some really good movement and strikes in round 2. Round 1, he also has some nice moments. He did knock down Lando in round 1, and he got him in round 3 with a knee. So yeah, it's definitely a very clear-cut unanimous decision win for him. As close as round 1 was, and as much as I want to give to Lando, I can't give the cell fight to Lando. I feel like he just fell apart at some point in round 2, and Bobby obviously knows that, took advantage of it, and came through with a pretty good win, so good on Bobby. Anywho's yay, that is about it for this review. I apologise that I don't really have a lot to say, I just can't really think of a lot to add, if I'm being completely honest with you. It was a decent fight, I guess. It's not going to be in my top 10, but I did enjoy it, and it showed me that, like, I like Lando a lot, and I expected him to be able to put on Fight of the Night worthy thing, but as all of his Fight of the Night bonuses go, this is probably his weakest in my opinion. Bobby looked really good though. Like, I'm used to seeing him, like, have mixed results as a rule, but if he can put this kind of performance together in the rest of the division, in the rest of his years that he has with the company, then he could probably reach the top of the mountain one day. He just needs to, like, fully click it in and, like, you know, put it all together properly, like he did here. This is really promising for his career, and I really hope he carries it on in his next fight, whenever that'll be. So that'll about do it for this one. I'll see you all tomorrow for the Fall Tonight Alive backtracking episode, and then after that will be Tuesday, where there'll be PPW returning, and leading up to Over the Top. That's going to be a lot of fun. And of course, I've got the Golden Path tournament as well, and I've got so many other things to, like, sort out in regards to my EFED. Or EFEDs. More on that later, though. I'll see you all tomorrow. And as always, thank you for watching. You're awesome. Bye-bye.